The tiny spark of anticipation that had formed in Qiao Wenhao's heart vanished in an instant with Lu Jinian's words. She had believed Zhao Meng for a moment. But how could she have forgotten that Lu Jinian had been the best screen actor for so many consecutive years? He was always a one-take actor, and when he had jumped in to save her, it wasn't because of worry but to follow through her act. Since she was soaked in cold water, Qiao Wenhao was pale as a sheet of paper, without any trace of color. She tried to keep the calm on her face, but Zhao Meng, who stood behind her, couldn't help feeling upset for her. Mr. Lu, Qiao didn't want to drop into the water, but her heels were tampered with, causing her to lose balance and fall into the pool. She only decided to add the scenes to escape having to retake the whole scene. Lu Jinian's expression froze slightly as his gaze fell on Qiao Wenhao's feet, realizing that she was not wearing any shoes. He frowned deeply, an eeriness flashing past his eyes. Before Zhao Meng could finish her sentence, his face dimmed and he left the set in his wet clothes. Zhao Meng looked at Lu Jinian's back and couldn't help pouting. So rude. Qiao Wenhao remained quiet, using a towel to wipe off the droplets on her face. She stood up and went to the changing room to change before leaving the set with Zhao Meng. On her way into the hotel, Qiao Wenhao bumped into a crew member, a young girl. She smiled sweetly at her, shouting, "Sister Qiao." Qiao Wenhao returned a slight smile and nodded. By the time she reached her hotel room, she recalled that she had seen the girl before, but since there were so many crew members, she couldn't pinpoint who she was. Only at night, when she was eating dinner and caught sight of the same girl sitting beside Lin Shai's assistant, did she whisper to Zhao Meng, "Who is that young girl sitting beside Lin Shai's assistant? She seems familiar, have we seen her somewhere?" Zhao Meng chewed, her chopsticks in the air, as she stared at the young girl. Suddenly, she remembered something and said, Qiao, I remember. This afternoon, when we were about to go to the changing room, she ran out of it. Do you remember? I think it's her, just with a change of clothes." Qiao Wenhao was already sure, but she couldn't confirm. Now that Zhao Meng had confirmed her suspicion, she nodded, saying, "Yes, it's her. She is Lin Shai's new assistant. This afternoon, after she entered your changing room, your heels broke." Zayamon stopped in mid-sentence, staring straight at Qiao Wenhao before smiling coldly. "I never would have expected that she would do this on the very first day."